This week on Truth, Duty, Valour. Aboard HMCS Charlottetown, a fighting frigate on a mission in the Arabian Sea, partnered with a sturdy Sea King helicopter.
People on board. Secure action stations.
Together, they're making history on the high seas. Canadian men and women engaged in an active combat zone in the volatile Middle East. From boarding suspicious vessels and exposing illicit cargo to saving lives and coping with being far from family. The company and crew of HMCS Charlottetown are committed to their motto, all challenges squarely met. Security is high around the scarcely visible Canadian frigate from Halifax, HMCS Charlottetown. Frigate 339 is alongside in the Arabian Gulf port of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. More than halfway through her 6-month tour in the Middle East. Tomorrow, she weighs anchor to continue maritime surveillance patrols in this high-profile region.
The region has a lot of illicit activities conducted that supply the terrorist organization. And what we do here, we monitor all those activities and we try to take action. And we've been able, on a few occasions so far during this deployment, to intervene into some illicit activities which has direct link to terrorism.
But today, the lure of Dubai, the city of superlatives, is too strong to resist. Dubai is the richest and most powerful of the 7 United Arab Emirates. It's the fastest growing city on the globe, home to 1/3 of the world's construction cranes. Seaworthy wooden dhows ply the murky waters of Dubai Creek. Nearby souks are redolent with spices from all over the Middle East. And gold, lots of it, at bargain prices. Gold so alluring that Canadians from the frigate are drawn in by the glitter.
Can I look at the chains, please? Yeah.
Mike Gurley is Chief Petty Officer First Class, better known as the coxswain of Charlottetown.
That's another long one, eh?
Tomorrow will be long too, with shopping just a memory. For the coxswain and the rest of the 250 members of Charlottetown.
Wakey, 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 wakey.
A wake-up call comes close on the heels of the sunrise over the Arabian Gulf. And the frigate's security team gathers in the hangar. All ears and eyes are alert whenever Commander Patrick Saint-Denis is present.
Stand down! East!
We've done that before. Same ROE apply, up out there ROE.
This is a critical meeting. The captain's delivering the ROE, rules of engagement.
During the transit in the Strait of Hormuz, again, like Combat said, this is a choke point. Therefore, we need to keep a good eye.
Like every member of the old man's ship,
Take the right measure to protect Charlottetown.
the commander is focused on the U.S.-led maritime security operations in the Middle East.
We'll use flare if required, warning shots, then we'll use deadly force if required. But I don't expect any use of deadly force based on the intelligence that we have. But we have to be ready. Any questions?
Stand down! East!
The purpose of maritime security operation is to deny terrorists the access of the seas to transport war material or illicit cargo to finance their activities.
When Truth Duty Valour returns, HMCS Charlottetown transits the congested waters of the Strait of Hormuz.
You leave a foreign port. For me, that's the day that we go back to work. You've hoped everybody's got a good rest, and you get them focused on the mission at hand.
1, 2, 3.
Before the sun sets today,
After steering all closed up.
the frigate must be at its next patrol region off the coast of Pakistan.
We're just kind of keeping an eye open to make sure nothing comes too close, and then I go in and report it to the officer of the watch.
XO, Coxswain. We're all closed up. Force protection, stay yellow.
Okay, good. We're almost ready to go.
A navy and a warship is designed and put out to sea to go kill people. And so part of our job is to make sure that people keep focused and that they're well trained, so that if we're ever called upon to do that, we can go do that and come home safely.
Here, 320.
We are leaving Port Rashid, UAE in a force protection state yellow. The purpose of force protection state yellow is to have Charlottetown ready to take damage and to defend itself if required. We have people on the upper decks with small arms, and as well we have all armament ready for operation if required.
Small moving boat with 2 personnel on board, moving left to right.
Every time a Navy ship enters or exits port, she's extremely vulnerable to attack from high-speed small craft called go-fast.
Yes, now bearing us 325, range 1 mile. To go fast with 3 personnel on board.
It happened to USS Cole in this port. She was rammed by a go-fast, loaded with explosives.
We're going to go to emergency flying station to test our organization in case an emergency occur. This is standard procedure while exiting port.
The people on the bridge don their anti-flash gloves and hoods to protect themselves from intense heat in the event of an explosion. The frigate's closing up.
Aircraft 13 miles closing. Hello, Captain. Do we know the nature of the emergency? Over.
There's the possibility of an emergency helicopter landing, but action stations are also closed up to protect against potential attacks.
Unusual vibration.
Suspect based on associated ESM, 2 times that fitter, I swear to CNC.
Shrouded in the dim light of the operations center, the captain joins his team of naval combat information operators, sensor and sonar operators, and communicators who compile air, surface, and subsurface pictures. Friend or foe, they need to understand who's in their weapons envelope. Knowing who's around them is critical.
The ops room is manning their weapons, and we just make sure that we're vigilant, so that if anything does happen, we're ready to respond.
Captain. Send down flying station.
For the present, the pressure's off, but everyone continues to remain alert.
Secure action stations.
Back on the bridge, the captain resumes his seat of command, where he studies every vessel in the vicinity of the frigate via the ship's high-powered camera monitor.
Take as many of the mast and the radars as you can. Roger.
I have no concern at this time.
Here with the brief, we're just missing the combat officer.
Okay, stand by. I have no concern. This is a patrol vessel from the UAE.
This is coalition warship. Roger, over.
We always assume the worst. We always make an assessment to figure out what nation the vessels are, so we can build the recognized maritime picture. Okay, come right another 10 degrees.
Our captain is very operationally focused, very demanding. So what I've learned from him is that you never let go,
You keep pushing your people and to make sure that they're always doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Now, the captain's task is to oversee the safe transit of his frigate through one of the most congested maritime shipping routes in the world, the Strait of Hormuz.
The Strait of Hormuz is quite a strategic area, and that's why you see us wearing flight jackets and helmets so that we are ready to take any action if required.
To traverse the strait, all vessels must pass through the territorial waters of Iran and Oman, and the mood is tense.
Both the Omanis and the Iranians, this is their backyard. This is their territory. They consider the Strait of Hormuz part of their responsibility to make sure that they know what's going on there. So far, there's never been a specific threat against Charlottetown going through the Straits of Hormuz, but because there have been instances between the United States Navy and the Iranians, you just have to be prepared.
My name's Lieutenant Kristjan Monaghan. I'm the combat officer on board HMCS Charlottetown. My mind at all time is the security and self-defense of the ship. Or what's the disposition of the forces right now?
We currently have Churchill to the west.
It's very important to understand the picture of the battle space that we're in, so we know which contacts are in there, so we can provide that security and stability to the region by knowing exactly who's there and what they're doing.
The Strait of Hormuz is the only navigable sea route to the Arabian Sea, through which the Persian Gulf states ship 1/5 of the world's oil supply.
Any impact of these traffic may increase gasoline prices back in Canada.
Not only is it a strategically important choke point, these waters are also riddled with pirates and smugglers, some with known links to the Taliban.
From what I can tell, it's just a small dhow. There's 2 people on board at the moment, and no cargo that I can see.
Okay, pilot, where we're going?
Sir, loiter off the coast outside territorial waters until about 3 in the morning. Follow the tracks here southbound.
Charlottetown is not working alone on this tour. She's fully integrated into a highly organized international mission to protect international waters.
It shows that Canada is committed to international security. Sending a frigate into this region.
Led by the USS Harry S. Truman Carrier Group and its fleet of jets. British, French, Japanese, and Pakistani navies support the coalition and are answerable to the U.S. Fifth Fleet. In total, 50 warships patrol this turbulent region that stretches for hundreds of nautical miles, from the Persian Gulf in the north south to the Arabian Sea.
Come into our usual waiting area.
The area is divided into 3 units called Combined Task Forces, which, in turn, are subdivided into patrol zones which change according to need and threat levels.
For midnight speed, probably 10 knots. Remain there about 2 knots overnight.
As the Pulse Group Commander, Commander St. Denis has been given the task of looking after 5 to 6 ships, and he is set the ships up in different patrol zones or boxes, and the ships will patrol those areas, and they do that with the assistance of helicopters and maritime patrol aircraft, and they work hand in hand to pass information as to who could possibly be leaving territorial waters with illegal products.
Can we see from the halo any cargo on deck?
My goal is to help disrupt and eliminate terrorist organizations, and as well is to help to protect merchant traffic in the region so that merchant traffic can conduct their business and not be impeded.
The frigate is now 13 miles east of Oman, 19 miles west of Iran, and heading southeast towards the coast of Pakistan.
I don't think the Pakistanis have realized just how much illicit cargo is going in and out of their country that is supporting terrorism. So I think it's been good that Charlottetown's been here because we've been able to be a bit of a catalyst in getting this whole thing going.
When Truth, Duty, Valor returns, building trust and gathering information. Charlottetown's preparations for deployment began in September 2006, more than a year in advance of her departure from Halifax. After months of training exercises and workups at sea, the ship and her helicopter were primed for their 6-month tour in the Middle East. November 1st, 2007 was a bittersweet day.
So when we left Halifax, we wait for that hurricane to get to Norfolk. Yeah, right in here.
Charlottetown's route put her in a position of high honor.
We met up with the Truman Battle Group, and we sailed right across the Atlantic.
Leading the USS Harry S. Truman Carrier Group across the Atlantic Ocean, a formation to be reckoned with, was a proud period in Charlottetown's history. And then she was on her own, transiting the Suez Canal.
Last year, over 1,500 people lost their life crossing the Red Sea, proceeding to the Hajj. During our time in the Red Sea, no incident happened, and we were quite fortunate for this.
Since that transit, the operational tempo has been non-stop.
You're not authorized to proceed on board unless cleared by me.
Today, Charlottetown is en route to the North Arabian Sea, and along the way, she ensures the integrity of commercial traffic is maintained by closely monitoring passing vessels.
Perfect. Good. Did you pass it to her, or she got it directly? The mandate of approach ups is not to go on board and do a search. It's only to provide a goodwill as much as you can, but sometimes there's some tripwires that could probably develop into our boarding. But so far we have not, we've been quite lucky. We have not seen any approach up that required any boardings. Everything good? Okay, there's nothing else. We'll get you back on board. Okay.
Finding those tripwires, subtle clues that something's not as it should be, is a long and complex process.
India. They're en route to Iraq. What was the name of the city?
Asking the right questions is the job of the boarding party team of intelligence gatherers.
We asked the standard pre-planned questions and haven't seen anything. Okay. Very happy to see a Seaman. We relayed the information. They could reach us on 1621. Good. And they were very happy with that.
Collecting critical information is also the responsibility of the helo crew. Their Sea King may be a little long in the tooth, but even at age 45, she's an indispensable part of Charlottetown's mission.
The Sea King on the back of these frigates is an extension of the eyes and ears of the ship. We take the helo and we will fly approximately 50-60 nautical miles in all directions around the ship, extending its radar range and visual range so that we can identify targets of interest, contacts of interest.
From this lofty perspective, the helo crew gets the big picture. Machine gun target practice. It's an exercise that hones skills that could be required to effectively control vessels of interest from the air until the frigate moves in.
Well, our mage here, he just finished flying his 4,000th hour on the Sea King helicopter, so we're just going to celebrate by wetting him down with some water here. Congratulations there, sir, on 4,000 hours flying the Sea King.
Thanks. That's cool. I didn't think it would be that cool. What is that?
I don't know.
Don McIntyre knows the Sea King intimately.
I'm the senior maintenance manager. It's on the aircraft. It was built in 1963 with 1950 technology, and it's still flying today and flying safely.
When Truth Duty Valour returns, life on board a frigate is anything but predictable.
Captain, 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 Captain!
is amazing to see what 250 people can do when they're thrown in a steel bin and sent away for 6 months. It's a challenge every day when you wake up, because you never know what's gonna happen.
The morning starts with an emergency drill as part of the crew's training requirements. Members of the casualty clearing team immediately drop their primary duties and report to the scene of the accident.
What do you got?
Cut on his forehead here. Got a good cut.
Warrant Officer Mary Landry is the physician's assistant on board, and she's in control of this casualty.
Breathing on his own. He has a pulse. It's strong.
Okay, strip him down. Coxswain?
Yes.
He's a Pry 1.
Pry 1?
Pry 1. He's unconscious.
Right.
He's breathing.
Okay.
We're probably going to need to evacuate him. Can you see if we can get the helo ready? And find a place where we can land this guy.
Okay.
This is only a drill, but it proves the casualty clearing team is reliable, thanks in part to the dock.
We are it. We are the medical backbone for these guys. We provide health and welfare for them on a daily basis through sick parade, and we're there for them if they need us in a traumatic or serious situation.
Even a heavy sandstorm at sea can't dull the enthusiasm in this ship.
All right, Warren, here's the surface analysis from 00 Zulu this morning. Taking a look at the latest satellite picture from 1 Zulu this morning. As you can see, we're all basically entrenched in the sand right now.
How do you figure we can get out of the sand?
The best way to get out of the sand is basically to head almost due south.
When this man's not giving guitar lessons,
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
he's Padre Berezowski, who offers spiritual guidance.
Our Lord Jesus Christ, and the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all.
Informally and formally on Sunday mornings.
Helping us to find the meaning and the happiness in our life.
I'll have the sausage on the bun, please.
Perhaps one of the toughest tasks at sea?
We're gonna have salad. Thank you.
Preparing meals that appeal to 250 people who work in shifts 24 hours a day.
Basically making garlic bread for supper tonight. We have a nice lasagna on the go, nice raspberry pancakes, and a side of garlic bread. Here we got chicken parmesan ready for lunch.
Food and staples ordered in foreign ports don't always meet Canadian standards.
That's not what we ordered. We have 8 cooks on board shifts, and I have 250 chefs.
Chief Cook Warrant Officer Ron Heffernan has a philosophy he's practiced over 20 years in the military.
Everybody has an opinion, and everybody wants something that Mom used to make. So we try to meet them all in the middle ground and have something that they all might like, opposed to something that each and everybody will love.
My name's Lisa LeBlanc. I'm a steward on the HMCS Charlottetown. We're supposed to be the good guys here, you know, so I feel proud to be here.
Hi guys, could I get a number 2, please?
The hardest part is being away from your family, but you know, that's why you keep yourself so busy and it makes the time go by.
Wow, voilà monsieur.
Merci beaucoup.
Bienvenue.
Bonne journée.
The benefits are great in the military, the money's great, and being a single mom, I'm not only doing this for me, I'm doing this for me and him.
Fair visibility right now. Winds are light airs and the temperature is 21.8. That's all for me. Have a great day, Chantel.
This is a long operation. You're going to have your ups and downs. And we've been at her close to 120 days now. Hi, John. How's your workout, buddy?
Good, good.
It's hard when you miss Christmas and you're going to miss Valentine's and Easter. But when you get the love and support back home from not just your family and friends, but all Canadians that have mailed us and emailed letters to us, that is a phenomenal feeling right now to know that there's such a wave of Canadian support for all the men and women here on the ship.
It's a challenge every day when you wake up because you never know what's gonna happen. You know, you're a little group of people in a ship for 6 months. You can't go anywhere. You can't hide from your messmates.
Speaking of messes,
this is one mess where all the women stay on the ship. There's 9 women in our mess, actually. And if you want to come on in, I'll show you around. Okay, come on in. It's not very big, but it's nice and cozy. This is the settee area where we come and just chill out at night. If you follow me this way, I'll show you actually where I sleep. My rack is down below here. Just show you how compact it is. Watch it, don't bump your head. This is where I sleep every night. Pictures of my kid right here. Keep me sane. Anytime I want a little bit of privacy, I just take the curtain here and close her up. It's a nice place to come and chill out. And
it smells a lot better than the guys' messes, so.
I agree.
If you're in the Navy long enough, you spend more time at sea than you do at home. And so you're giving up a lot of things by joining the Navy, that's for sure. In the end, you learn more about yourself, I think, in this job than you would in any other job. And you can go home and you know, look yourself in the mirror and know that you've done a very good job and that you've kept a group of people out of harm's way, and you've done something good for your country.
It takes special people, but it takes as well special family, because without your family, you need the support of your family in order to be able to work. I'm just about to make the call to the families of the crew member on board.
Relatives and friends are gathered at the Maritime Family Resource Center in Halifax for the captain's much-anticipated Sunday morning call.
Commander Patrick St. Denis. Yes, we are physically on the other side of the world. However, our thoughts are always with all of you, Mel alongside as well.
It's a monthly ritual for the commander, and one he looks forward to.
We are more than halfway through the deployment. It was an exciting time on board to be over the hump, like we call it, especially after spending 34 consecutive days at sea. The morale remains high, and everyone on board are still getting along. I must tell you that Charlottetown has a very good reputation in the coalition, and we have been able to contribute to the war against terrorism.
When Truth, Duty, Valor returns.
With your MP5! Whoa!
Boarding vessels suspected of carrying illicit cargo linked to terrorism. The crack of dawn.
Everybody together, follow my game, go!
And members of the ship's naval boarding party are building their strength and stamina. These men work as a cohesive team.
Go, come on! Up!
Whether it's physical training or target practice.
This is not a race. There is no trophy at the end of this.
Our boarding parties are extremely well trained, so that they can apply all the procedure,
Hammers up!
follow the rules of engagement, and understand law of armed conflict. Our team is extremely professional, and this is one of the very good capability that a Canadian warship brings to the table.
So grab all the weapons and all the radios, everything else can stay here.
Boarding party members are released from their primary duties.
Coming! You got his radio on his tack vest?
And they're on call 24 hours a day, ready for the highest level of action required.
No matter how large or how small, the boarding, even the smallest amount, will not feed one of the terrorists. The larger amounts will stop the flow of explosives that they can produce, IEDs and everything.
When they leave the ship, they know exactly what they're going to be doing. It'd be an approach ops to provide goodwill or gather information from fishermen, or to look for illicit cargo or personnel.
If you have followed the news, you have probably heard on the 23rd of January, we intercepted a dhow carrying illicit cargo with ties to terrorism. When we approached, the crew on board the dhow flew the vessel using 2 skiffs. Our helicopter was airborne, and we were able to intercept the 2 fleeing skiff. At the same time, the dhow was still underway and going on the opposite direction with nobody on board. The rib with the boarding party and bark caught up with the dhow and embarked. It was a quite interesting embarkation, especially in the rough sea, as you see on the picture there.
We called the booze cruise. It was where we found some large amount, I think close to $1 million worth in smuggled liquor. It was actually Scotch whiskey. And I remember at the time, me and my colleague, we were actually hanging off these burlap sacks filled with liquor, and we were cutting the boxes, and we're down in the hole, and every time the dhow would hit a wave, water would come in between the planks.
Our boarding party found between 8 and 10,000 bottles of alcohol with a market value of about $1 million, which would have been used to finance terrorist activity. A good job by Charlottetown.
The frigate's presence has also proved to be a lifesaver.
Since we came into this region of operation, there's been 2 that really stand out in my mind. There was a skiff with approximately 5 gentlemen on it that had been lost at sea for about 7 days without food and water.
They had no gas, their motor was broke down, they had no food, they had no water, and they were using a tarp as a makeshift sail.
And just recently, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, there was a barge about 250 feet long, in which 2 gentlemen were survived on it. Unfortunately, there was, I believe, 7 to 9 that actually passed away. It was being towed by a dhow, and I believe that the dhow did sink. That was quite satisfying to help them and bring them on board, get them washed up, get them some food and clothing, and then we passed them off and they went home.
That's a good job, boys.
The preservation of life right there is warrants our being here just by saving those 2 people.
I can see a jump in everybody on this ship, all crew members, all 250 plus, there's a jump in their step. You can see it. I mean, although this is our 3rd patrol, and we've got 1 more to go after this, everybody is pumped now.
Okay, you have a little bit to go.
It's time to pump some fuel into Charlottetown, a well-practiced example of exemplary seamanship. This is the frigate's 16th rise, replenishment at sea, since she left Nova Scotia.
Every rise are great. We try to do them like every week, and the crew quite proficient at it. We love doing those things. It's good seamanship. It's keep the skill, teamwork. Everybody works together, and get some of the people that don't go very often outside, that go outside and get some fresh air.
The crew of Charlottetown makes this precision operation, requiring the ultimate in navigation and seamanship, seem effortless.
Got a blink there, boys. Stop pumping, stop pumping.
The auxiliary ship today is the British RF Bayleaf.
House watch, Captain.
House watch.
From hard left, 000.
Aye, sir. Clear to port. Port 30. Port 30.
The key thing is communications. If the men and women of the ship know what they're doing, what's expected of the ship, what's expected of the ship's company, they will respond.
When truth, duty, valor continues,
Get her done, boys.
patience and tenacity pay off in millions of dollars of contraband.
Putting an end to terrorism, a couple bales of hash at a time.
We are about to come to boarding stations for a possible Group B COI. It's a vessel suspected of narcotics trafficking in support of terrorism. It's suspected to be a small cargo dhow proceeding southbound. Flag unknown, number of personnel on board unknown. ROE consideration, as always, is self-defense, and other tactical considerations, sir, will be bringing the ship to boarding stations and flying stations upon completion of this brief. What we'll do is we'll get the helo off the deck to keep a visual on the vessel. We are 20 miles south of the Pakistani territorial waters, so we don't have any...
20 miles south?
20 miles south.
Okay.
That's the position we'll be in at the closest point of territorial waters by the time that we get there in order to conduct the boarding.
Let's get going, boys.
What do you got for me?
Put your head. Ready to go? Up top, starboard side. We'll have to go all the way through the port breezeway.
Our mission is going to be broken into two phases. The first phase of the mission is we're going to do an approach ops. We want to know the name of the vessel. We want to know the flag of the vessel. We want to know what they're doing. Phase two is we need to be prepared to conduct boarding under the law of armed conflict. Okay? And this is only upon direction from my order. Alpha 3, you're seeing some fishing nets in the hole.
Come alongside. Communication is vital. Vigilance. Observation. Keep the chatter down. Anything you see goes through me and I'll pass it on to Alpha 1. Tony, save me some chicken, buddy.
The boarding party is just developing a rapport with the crew on board. We've got a lot of basic questions they have to ask them, but I can honestly tell you that we have enough information that tells us that these guys aren't necessarily legitimate fishermen. Luckily for us today, the weather's pretty good. It's only a few foot swells, but as you can see from looking at the dhow, it's still moving around quite a bit.
We're going to split up into two search teams, all right? Smitty's going to be in control. He's already been down below. He knows what he wants the first team to search down, just below us.
Charlottetown's translator asked questions on behalf of the boarding party.
Alpha 1, Father. Alpha 1, go ahead.
While back in the ship, the captain feeds them more questions.
This is Father. Could you check during your search if there's any welding gear on board? Over.
Do you see the GPS unit in there?
and let's look outside the box as well to make sure that we do a thorough search. Over.
Let's get her done, boys. I need to get my head down there.
9 hours later, patience, determination, and intuition pay off.
And Father Alpha 1, we have seems to be a significant amount of confidence.
This is Father Roger. Take pictures and report to Mother. Over.
Roger.
XO. We got some contraband, cheeky.
This tenacious naval boarding party uncovers 4.5 tons of hashish, valued at $65 million, the largest drug bust in the region since 2005.
Yeah, affirmative pictures, but no narcotic to come to Charlottetown. Over.
Once the illicit cargo is found, it may or may not be up to Canada, right? Depending on what Ottawa's direction to us is.
When Truth, Duty, Valor returns.
You getting ready for the next boarding?
Yes, sir.
Good. Let's see what we can do.
Throughout the night, in the privacy of his cabin, the CO holds conference calls with Canadian, American, and Pakistani authorities.
The Maritime Security Agency came and took them away to Pakistan, and I have no idea what's going to happen. I would imagine they'd be prosecuted when they get home.
That was the cleanest out that we've been on so far, by far.
So they just didn't look like your typical fishermen, right?
The crew is very keen to get out there and do the business. I always think that, after we've spent 17 hours boarding a vessel, that we need to maybe give the crew a day off. I get up the next morning and the boarding party's dressed and all ready to go for another day.
There was definitely a red flag, you know what I mean? That they were trying to eyeball you, trying to stare you down. It's not going to work.
Never saw one guy shaking. Remember the booze cruise? You see the guys were like this, right?
Oh yeah, they were
just shaking. They were. You see this guy strapped up with that C8 across his chest. He's a little intimidating. These guys.
Oh, I'm not?
Oh, a little bit.
Little Jerry's not intimidating. No. But even down in the hall, like when I got Halford and Buchanan to go down to do the search, like the boys will tell you, it was all lined up like their personal kit. They had toiletries, but they had a lot, almost too much food, like flour and stuff.
So how are you doing, guys?
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Everything? It's not as simple as people think, yeah?
No, it changes every time. Definitely cut off some money heading into the organizations that are supporting the terrorism. Giving our boys in Afghanistan a little bit of a break.
The Charlottetown or any warship in the area will help Canadian. We will contribute to the war against terrorism.
But we had a good time, good boarding. Made a big impact, sir. Okay, get some of the narcotic away from the market. It's not going to feed the Taliban and feed any terrorism and against Canada as well.
We are able to make a difference, and these results one day will be seen in Canada.
Okay, getting ready for the next boarding?
Yes, sir.
Good. See what we can do.
That's the big message that people need to understand. We need to send warships in these kind of areas so that we can maintain security back home. It's extremely important that we do this.
Until Charlottetown and the Sea King begin the transit home to Halifax in less than 2 months, there's no doubt that every one of the 250 people on board will continue to meet their challenges squarely.
Sum it up in regards to our motto, all challenges squarely met. You can't go to all 4 corners without going in a sequence. You have to start at corner 1, corner 2, corner 3, corner 4 to make that square. And I think that's what this boarding did. We finally succeeded and we met all challenges squarely met. Cut.
Get the mission done. That's pretty well my motto right now. Contribute to the mission, take care of our people, and if you take care of them, the mission will be accomplished. It's all related back to the mission. We need to get the mission done, and that's what we're here for.